transport mode. Hello again. In all of the discussions I've had of this Porsche Cayenne long term, I realized I've never done anything in the weather. It's wintertime here in Park City, and the weather has actually turned pretty nasty in the last week or so. Lots of people are sliding off roads, conditions have gotten bad. I do have our full winter tires on this. I traded out some high performance all seasons for the full winter Blizzaks. I know many of you have wished I'd update this car more often, but I'll be honest with you, I don't want to update a car just to tell you yet again, hey, guess what, it runs. But here I am at 124,500 miles, and it does just run. We did pass the 120,000 mile maintenance marker where you've got to get a bunch of stuff done. It's essentially a tune-up, and then you check your brakes on all four corners. It had been 40,000 miles since we'd done the brakes. They actually had half their life left. We replaced them anyway because the rotors were slightly warped, and that drives me crazy. So we did actually spend the money. It was over $1,000 for the front axle just to do the front brakes. These Cayennes were originally built with a lot of great off-road running gear. Now, this is a base model. It doesn't have crazy air suspension. I don't have a whole lot of settings to put it into, but I do have a reduction gear. So all this made me think I should take it off of concrete and actually drive this car in nasty conditions where a lot of people kind of question whatever car it is they own, no matter what it is, and just show again that this has been great, whatever we ask. We've had this car for years now. In fact, half of the mileage on it at 124,000, we put half of that on ourselves. It has been the most reliable car we've ever owned. It has had one surprise thing, and that was the known issue of the drive shaft knuckle going bad. But in spite of the major service intervals, which can be expensive, there's no surprises here. Tires, oil, gas, the normal stuff you do to a car, this just runs. This road outside Park City is notorious for delivery people, emergency personnel, tow trucks sliding right off the road. Yet here I am in just a base Cayenne, and I feel perfectly comfortable. Now, I'm not trying to hoon my way through this, but anything I need this to do, including get the back out a little bit, it'll do easily. Now, tires are a huge part of that. Here in Park City, where the weather is questionable and this is our primary family car, I run high performance all seasons during the rest 3 seasons of the year. I ran high performance summer tires and they lasted us less than 7,000 miles. So I put on the performance all seasons for the rest of the year, but I run full winters, in fact Blizzaks on this car for conditions like this. Now, the first gen Cayennes were known to have more off-road running gear than you'll probably need, but what's lesser known is that the current Cayennes are still that way. We recently were at Porsche Experience Atlanta, and we went places that would have been fine all over Moab in a stock Cayenne S. This car in its standard setup is running 40% of the power to the front, 60% to the rear. It does have a really nice controllable slide about it. There's a little bit, yeah, okay. My wife and I had a conversation about, should we get rid of this car? We've had it for a while. I try to trade up cars regularly because of the show, but this is her car, and she loves it. And it just keeps running. When you have a car that runs this well, that you like this much, why worry about it? We are still going to put Apple CarPlay here in the center console. That's feeling pretty ancient. So at almost 125,000 miles, what's wrong? Well, honestly, very little. The logo on the hood continues to just chip away and vanish on us. The driver's side exterior door handle is starting to be a little delinquent. I think the cables in there are stretching out. That's probably going to be replaced before too long. I just got a Porsche corporate recall notice for this transmission not properly going into park. Now, we haven't ever had any problems, but I will take it in for that recall here shortly. We had this center console cover break. At one point we had to glue that back on. There was a rear door over the pass-through of the rear passenger seat. That broke long ago, and it's just not even worth fixing. These upper seatbelt bases here are actually electronics, so they go up and down with a power motor. Those don't work that well. The right one only likes to go up every now and then. The left one, you've got to really punch that button and wait. It's a little sluggish and reluctant. Recently took this car on a 4-hour road trip to Moab with the whole family and a bunch of gear in the back, bikes hanging off the bumper. All of that was great. In fact, we were as agile and fast as most sports cars and heavy-duty sedans through the fast parts of that drive. And then when we got to Moab, as you can see by this, anything I wanted to do, I was able to do in this car. I've actually never owned a car and rarely driven another car that felt as easygoing doing anything I ask. This is a perfectly good car for just commute. Go get coffee, go take the kids to school. It's great for that, and it's actually a very nice, luxurious place to be. It solves that I would like a high ride height, which my wife does like many people do. It solves that problem as well. Now, the gas mileage isn't great. We get low 20s if we're lucky. But it is a fantastic long-distance road trip car. It feels like something that was bred to handle the Autobahn, because, of course, it is. But here I am on a back road, going through nasty conditions that I know a lot of people have slid off this road just in the past week. In spite of that, this just feels confidence-inspiring. It's heavy. Yep, I'm sliding. Yep. As long as you're ahead of the problem and you know how heavy it is, it's easy to handle. Truth is, I kind of want to do this road about twice the speed I'm going. Now I realize that's when disaster happened. Somebody got stuck right there. You can follow their trails right off the road. So I'm sitting here in a situation where, okay, I keep trading cars like an idiot. I drive a ridiculous car like a Lotus. I'm buying stupid things like a Phaeton. Why not just leave this car? It works. It's wonderful. It's great in any conditions. What's the problem? There really isn't one. This is the reason I don't update this car more often for YouTube, because I don't want to do another video in 6 weeks and just go, yep, it's great, it runs. But the truth is, it's great, it runs. It's amazing how all German cars maintain that reputation of don't buy a used one of those. That'll just be a money pit. I know that is often the case. Our experience with Porsches have never been that, and this Cayenne has been even better than any other car I've owned. That is the proximity monitors covered in snow, and now they're freaking out. I know there are those of you out there that have been watching this series and wondering, should I get a used Cayenne? Should I take a gamble? Now, the higher up the food chain you get yourself a Turbo S, guess what? Stuff's going to go wrong, and it's going to cost a lot more. But the truth of it is, it's been phenomenal. If you want one, I say go get one. Shop smart, but man, they're good. And then, not long after shooting this piece, we got our first check engine light in 5 years of ownership. Turns out our Cayenne needs a new crankcase ventilator. Not really a big deal, except that on this engine, it's part of the valve cover, which means new valve cover, a $500 part, and 5 hours worth of labor. So, $1,000 later, our Cayenne has given us our second surprise fix in 60,000 miles. We've owned Ford, GM, Audi, Jeep, Toyota, Nissan, Mini, Mitsubishi, Subaru, and even a Lotus, and this Cayenne has given us fewer worries than any of those. Since 2007, Everyday Driver has been finding great cars and experiences for real people. Now we're delivering more content to more places than ever before.
Our TV show premieres on the Motor Trend cable channel and can also be found on Amazon Prime. Plus, older episodes are available worldwide on Pluto TV and Vimeo.
Our Top 10 podcast, The Car Debate, takes your questions and helps you find the perfect car.
Whole garages and even a few marriages have improved over 500 episodes, with new ones dropping every Tuesday and Friday.
On YouTube, we cover cars of all kinds, from exotics to haulers and even hybrids, while Nate reviews motorcycles.
Plus, we've got 5 feature films, including unique retrospectives of the 911, the M3, and the Corvette.
And if that's not enough, we host meetups, live podcasts, and even driving trips to Europe.
So thanks for watching, listening, and supporting what we do.